I have a kind of special project today. I've always loved space. I've always loved rockets. Love science, obviously. So, as soon as I saw BPS Space a few years ago and like what he was doing with the gimbal and everything, I knew I had to do the same thing. I've been working on my rocket design for a few years now, and here is everything I have done so far. This is all the footage from all the flights and everything from all the previous versions. And at the end of this video, I'll show you a sneak preview of what I have so far of the new version of the rocket. So this first version, it was not built very well. Made with like JB Weld and cardboard and stuff. So obviously the flight tests weren't very good. I was basically just figuring out how to even get the gimbal working properly at this point. So the construction of the gimbal itself wasn't as important as just making it gimbal. And I had some issues with the speed of the servos at first. Ended up just being a code issue. I just wasn't doing something correct in the code. I don't actually remember what it was. But it was just some tiny little thing was causing a delay in the code. It's the construction of the gimbal. Lots of JB Weld. That used to be my favorite tool, was JB Weld. I've since gotten a 3D printer and don't have to do all this nonsense anymore. Arduino and the accelerometer sensor. That's all the innards of the rocket. It's a balsa wood frame for the electronics. And then here's the whole rocket tube with the hole in the side to access the electronics. Whole things together. Looks pretty good though, The rectangle down at the bottom, I had planned to do 2 other motors beside that middle one. That's why it sticks out to the side. Yeah, so I had issues with it freezing. Okay, so here's where I'm at with the thrust vectoring on the model rocket. The version 1.0, I used the wrong servos for that, I think, or something. I don't know. I know they're like way bigger than really what I need. They were just some servos I had lying around. So, that's what I get for trying to save money. They're like, I think they're pulling too much power or something, and they're causing the IMU to like cut out or something. Now, I should test another IMU, see if it's not just a glitchy one. Well, I already ordered the parts for version 2.0, so I'll just test it on that one. I was able to get that fixed and get it smoothed out a little bit, and then it was ready for the first test flight. Not the worst flight, but could have been better. But hey, like for literally a JB welded together first test flight of the gimbal, it's not bad. You could see the gimbal kind of moving around, like the direction of the smoke changing some. Yeah. So I think what happened, honestly, I think a few things happened. I don't think this was powerful enough for this servo. I don't think this was powerful enough for this servo. Also, it spun. You see that? So that won't work. Also,
I know that's probably a huge culprit as well. What happened? Uh, this axle right here just totally bent and slid out of position. So also this JB weld right here broke. Yeah, just no good.
A multitude of things.
Yeah, just a multitude of things. Let's see. Oh damn! It broke the servo arm. It looks like it got pushed up. It's hard to figure out exactly what happened first, but it's all good because I got the other gimbal design anyways. So whatever. This was never going to work anyways.
So after that, I decided to go with a slightly different kind of design for the gimbal. I decided not to actually gimbal the engine itself, but to add a like a cylinder below the engine that I can just gimbal that cylinder and it can direct the flow of the exhaust gases. Basically like how the old V2 rockets worked, with the vanes for steering, except just with a cylinder instead. So that didn't work. I'm pretty sure the cylinder I had just was too wide and there's just too much wiggle room. Basically, it would go left and, it wouldn't be able to do that much. So,
Can't fucking get this shit.
I made a code change
Why?
thinking I could fix it with just software, but it didn't work and it actually made it worse. Obviously.
Huh.
So I changed the design and went with a smaller cylinder. I messed up though and I used copper. I shouldn't have used copper, but whatever. You live and you learn. But you can see it almost fixed itself that time. See? The gimbal is actually starting to work. Now, these automatic fins, I never tried this. I never actually got around to trying this one because I got a 3D printer. Yeah, it's so much better. So much better. Now, the first test flight of the 3D printed version is probably my most disappointing one. And you'll see why. It was working so good, too. Here's my newest rocket. Call it the Steve X1. It has fully automated gimbal control. Right now I'm just using it for stability, but eventually I'll use it for actual steering and trajectory insertion and everything. And it's pretty awesome. I'm so excited about this flight. Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. This is the first gimbal that I've 3D printed, so
We'll see. 3, 2, 1, fire. Whoa. Fire. The engine blew up. So it is a bit disappointing what happened, but good news is the gimbal itself held up to that explosion. So I think we're good as far as the structural aspect of it goes.
Okay, so let me tell you how it is. Perfect brew makes it lurking through. I got work to do, might not respond to you. Yeah, so my rocket blew today. Break out the glue to make. I got the tools to make sure I reach the pace. Orbital insertion, trajectory go merchant, payload dispersing, cash flow increasing. Yeah, you can watch it on my channel. You know I got it handled. Don't need no confirmation from committees or panels. Yes, I make music. I don't take my rap very seriously, I'll tell you that. Okay.
Alright, here we are. Flight test number 2. Brand new engine in this one, so let's hope it doesn't explode. 3, 2, 1, launch. My rocket landed in your yard. I've decided on this next test flight, I'm going to adjust the leverage on the gimbal a little bit. That way it naturally wants to just point straight up. It's the one from the last flight. This is the new one. You can see. Should be a bit better. This is actually designed to where the motor sticks out the bottom a little bit, but the gimbal is supposed to be halfway on the motor. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just not quite perfect. But I just moved it I moved the engine holder 7 millimeters up. We'll see how that does. Yeah, so the gimbal ring was just breaking. That's what was actually happening. I redesigned the ring and decided to do a static fire test to see if it actually worked. 2, 1. And it did. That's really cool. I'd say that was a successful test right there.
Yes.
So of course that meant it was time to fly. 1, 1. Yes! Yes! So what happened, I can see the piece in there, the top of the motor holder right here. The motor jammed up in there and it made it where it couldn't move anymore. But well on the way there. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so I guess I am going to add fins to it just so it's already stable, and then I will just let the gimbal control steering because I'd like to program in trajectories and stuff like that eventually. So on all these previous versions of the gimbal, all it has been detecting is what the angle it's at is, not like the speed of how fast it's changing angles. And so I'm going to add that in the code on this next go round. Hopefully that will keep it from oversteering and just going crazy. And it ended up being the secret sauce, dude. Watch this. Oh, it's so epic. 2, 1.
I'm the man on the moon. Yeah, ain't nothing I can't do. Got all the mental tools. That shit hooks through.
So I just want to take a second to thank Google. I mean, if you think about it, this is something you can do too. I can't stress this enough. Yeah, we're done with who's dumb. Man, pull some in shit today. They'll see straight through your whole sum. We're done with the fumbles, assemble the mentally gifted. Already been sifted, automatically lifted to the skies. Make you believe it with your own eyes. Why you surprised, bitch? I'm the man on the moon. Yeah, ain't nothing I can't do. I got all the mental tools. That's it, hooks through. Yeah, I'm the man on the moon. Yeah, ain't nothing.
Unfortunately, I don't remember the change I made between that last good flight and this flight. But I do know that was a pretty cool flight.
Well, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You know, it's heavy as shit. It acts like it's super lightweight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's 20 pounds of thrust to start with for like first half second, and after that it's like 2, 3, 4 pounds of thrust or something like that. It broke right here too.
The camera on the side is gonna be a cool video.
Yeah, it is.
I'm fairly certain I didn't have the launch pad like level at all, and it just had the gimbal pointed way off to the side right at launch. I'm almost certain that's what happened. On the next flight, I lengthened the body of the rocket a little bit and messed with the settings in the code, and it seemed to work. I did not have the parachute system created yet.
Oh, it went so straight. Damn.
I guess next on the agenda is parachutes. And welcome back to the present. I am currently in the process of printing the new rocket, but here's what I have so far. It's the gimbal. Here is the motor holder.
Oh my gosh!
The gimbal ring.
Wow.
The gimbal mount. And the servo mount.
Oh my god.
Very nice. I just cleaned out the whole hot end of my printer, so it's printing like a brand new printer right now. I just said printer a lot of times. That's okay. I hope to have this rocket finished and ready to fly over the next week or two. I have to buy a few parts to get it ready, and then obviously put it all together. I still have to design the parachute system and test all that, make sure it works. So I'll be posting videos about that. But until then, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching, guys.